Hey, Keith Waters is on the line. Keith Waters is the chairman, I think, of the English ABA. He may even be higher, but he's known Mick probably longer than I've known Mick. I've known Keith a long time, and he's known Mick even longer. Keith, how are you?
Hello, Stevie. Hello, Stevie, mate.
Yeah, listen, Keith, first of all, what's your main memory of Mick Carney?
My memory of Mick Carney, to me, he was Mr. Boxing to me. Everything he's ever done in boxing, he's helped me tremendously. I wouldn't be where I was today without Mick and his experience and his help that he's given me over the years. And I remember, I can name his 4 top coaches in the country. You had David James, Kevin Nickey, Ian Irving, Terry Edwards. He was exactly in the same class as any of those. Yeah. He could have took any of our top boxers to any of the Olympics, wherever. Yeah, that's how high he was as a coach.
Yeah. Now, Keith, in all fairness, that you were a bit close to him, and also close to Tony Burns at Repton. He's been there like Mick has for a million years. And in fact, the three of you are a bit of a rat pack, if you don't mind me saying so, without the good looks and the singing and the dancing.
Yeah, well, see, that was true. They did say that. They did used to say, call us the Rat Pack at the end, because we used to meet up together, as you know. We used to go socialising together and go into the fitness down in East London, and we had some great times together. Oh. And I always remember, people don't understand that everybody's talking about what a great coach he was, and there's no doubt about that. But he was so probably one of the finest competition secretaries.
Yeah. Now, that's matchmaker in normal terms. Yeah, I know what you mean now.
He's a matchmaker. Yeah. Well, if you look at when I came in 1978 as a matchmaker then, the first person that helped me on that, and I was dealing with people like the old Bill Bailey, Fair Bernard, Tommy Condon, Con Sullivan, Jimmy Murphy, Tony Burns. That's the league I was thrown into. And to me, we all talk about Alec Ferguson. Even Alex Ferguson.
Alex Ferguson, amateur boxer. Listen, Keith, I've got so many calls to get through. Thanks very much. I'll see you next Thursday at the funeral.
Yeah, I will do, mate. All the best, mate. Yeah. Bye-bye. Thanks for giving me. Bye, mate.
No, listen, my pleasure. Now, Granty, you can sit there. Keith Herschel's on the line. Keith, how are you?
Hi, Steve. How you doing?
Yeah, now you boxed senior and junior, just senior there.
Just senior. I came for a club in Orpington, and I was mates with another boxer there called Mickey Spencer.
Yeah, and he won the ABAs. Yeah,
I'm going up to the lodge. So after a little while, Spencer said, "Do you fancy coming up for maybe one evening of sparring a week?" And suddenly I'm in amongst people sparring with people like Neville Cole, Ray Catus, Dave Banks, John Zarashi,
Wally Anglis, little wobbly Wally. He was meant to be on the show tonight. I think he's obviously busy in his club.
But the great thing was that, as far as Mick was concerned, it didn't matter. I was never going to be in that sort of Premier League of boxers. I was just a good club boxer. But Mick's sort of attitude was, if you've got the bottle to go up the steps, then you're good enough, to be in this club.
Yeah, that's the way it was. Listen, Keith, I've got about 15 callers, and I'm going to end up breaking some arts. I'll see you next Thursday, Keith.
Indeed.
All right. I've got MC John McDonald on the line now. That doesn't sound like a rapper. I'm talking about a proper MC. John boy, how are you?
I'm all right, Steve. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, good. Sorry we came here so late, John, because I'm sort of juggling things here, sort of, trying to do a bit of both. You knew Mick a while, didn't you?
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, I knew him for ages. I mean, my auntie had the off-licence on the corner of his, where the Fitzroy Lodge was. And so, I used to climb out of my bedroom window into the club. I mean, he chased me out of there plenty of times when I was a kid, yeah. Yeah. I had so many run-ins with Mick Carney, but I could still get away with murder. It was, I should stop there and have a cup of tea with him. I could get away with murder. You know that great story, Steve, about the time when I begged him to look after the Clotty boys. Do you remember?
Yeah, the Clotty brothers.
He had a brand new front door fitted on the lodge. He was so proud of it. It was gorgeous, this great big fire check door. And
lovely.
And I begged him to take the Clotties there, and at the time they were boxing for Frank Maloney, and they was living in sort of just up the road in the Elephant.
Yeah. And
I begged them, please let him train there, Mick. Honestly, they're as good as gold. And then, like, the Monday morning, the phone goes, and he's like mad on the phone at me. You've done it again. You're in so much trouble. Get down this club. Oh, what have I done now? I turn up at the club like about 2 hours later, and he says to me, look what they've done. And I go to the front door, and where they've turned up on Sunday for training,
and there's no one there,
realising it's not open, they've scratched with a 6-inch nail. We come, here. I mean, we fell out,
Well, that's the way we do it in Bookham out in Garda, John. That's the way we do our business in Aqua. You know that.
And he chased me, he kicked me up the arse, and he chased me around the gym, and I couldn't run for laughing. He said, "You've never been any good to this club. Get out of this club." And when I got to the door, I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. I thought, "Is this the last time I'll ever come into Fitzroy Lodge?"
No.
And he caught me up, and he put his arm around me. He said, "You owe me big time." And that was it. We just walked in the cafe next door, sat down, had a cup of tea, but that was Mick. You know, he really did forgive very, very quick.
Listen, in the actor, John, listen, I'm going to have to move you on. I'll see you next Thursday at the funeral.
Yeah, you got it, mate, definitely.
Johnny, see you next week. Eddie Lamb's on the line now, box for Mick, and was very close and was constantly there, works with some pros. Now, Eddie, how are you?
Hey,
I'm not bad, Ed. Where are you? You're not in a submarine, are you, Ed?
No. I'm home. I'm home.
Ed, listen, Ed, you might be the last. No, I'll get one more call up. Go on, Ed. What's your main memory from Mick?
I've got a little story to tell.
Go on, son.
We went out for Mick's birthday, Italian up the West End.
Yeah.
Me, Mrs. and him and his missus, and we had a 3-course meal, lovely 3-course meal. Coffee that works we had.
Yeah.
At the end of the evening, I slipped off without him knowing, so I paid the bill.
Yeah, no
only
chance.
to be told by the manager that it had already been paid.
Nah, see, now, listen, Ed, you know what? In all fairness, mate, I'm not trying to teach you to suck eggs, but you should have been paying that bill the day before to get one over. Listen,
but not by him, though.
No, not by... who paid it then?
Yeah, anyway, cut a long story short, he was paid by a fellow who worked in the kitchen. He'd done a couple of nights keep fit training down the lodge, and washing the dishes. Yeah, it must have cost him. He wouldn't have had much change from a week's wages. But that's the sort of respect the man had.
Well, listen, Eddie, I'm going to move you on because I've got another one. I've got Pop on the line, Pop Carney on the line, current club captain who was there with him last week and at the meal with us last week. Pop, how are you?
Not bad, mate.
You okay now? You doing okay?
Yeah, getting there.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's talking about the boxing and stuff, but he was just a genuine man. I mean, in and out of the ring, any bit of advice to do with anything, professionalism, birds, whatever, he was there with advice. From whatever restaurant you wanted to go to, what club you wanted to go to.
He always knew someone, didn't he?
Mick was on the dance floor on my 30th. He was at Eddie Lamb's 40th. He was at my brother's meal on his 50th.
He was at my wedding 18 years ago.
You know, the range of people he knew and loved him, the range of backgrounds, that just indicates the man he was.
You know what, Pop? You've brought the show to a brilliant end. Thanks, kid.
Take it easy.
Oh, Pop Carn there with the last words on Mick Carney from the caller. Granty, I'm going to give you the last words because I'm not going to cry into the news. You're going to do it. Go on, son.
Well, I just think anyone who ever, come across Mick in whatever capacity, they'd be heartbroken like we all are because he was just a genuine bloke, old school, fantastic guy, and he got me going there, and I think it was
That's what I said. I'm not going to do it. You're going to do it.
Yeah, but I'm looking at you crying, and now I feel like it. I just feel that Mickey was old school, and you don't come across people like Mickey in your life too often, and I know it's a privilege for me to have known him for all these years.
There you go, Mick. You've been listening to Grant Davis and Steve Bunce and dozens of people that love Mick Carney. His funeral's next Thursday. There'll be no the funeral's next Thursday. Hope you've enjoyed the show. Not been too morbid for you. We've had a bit of a laugh, even though we're crying. See you next week.